Understanding Russian grammar. The key 5 things to note are: declension of nouns by gender, number, and case. Agreement of adjectives with nouns by gender, number, and case. Formation of verb forms by tenses. Use of prepositions with different cases. Constructing simple sentences with a subject and predicate. So what is declension of nouns by gender, number, and case? In linguistics, declension, verb, to decline, is the changing of the form of a word, generally to express its syntactic function in the sentence, by way of some inflection. Declensions may apply to nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, and articles to indicate number, e.g. singular, dual, plural, case, e.g. nominative case, accusative case, genitive case, dative case. Gender, e.g. masculine, neuter, feminine, and a number of other grammatical categories. Meanwhile, the inflectional change of verbs is called conjugation. Declension occurs in many of the world's languages. Declension of nouns by gender. There are 3 genders of nouns in Russian: masculine, feminine, and neuter. Each gender has its own endings and declension rules. It is also important to know that the Russian language uses 6 cases: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, and prepositional. Cases determine the function of a word in a sentence. For example, the nominative case is used to indicate the subject of a sentence. The genitive case indicates affiliation or origin. The dative case denotes to whom or what the action is intended. The accusative case indicates a direct object.
Here are examples of declension of nouns by gender in Russian. Masculine nouns, мужской род. Один, стол, table. Именительный падеж, стол, родительный падеж, стола, дательный падеж, столу, винительный падеж, стол, творительный падеж, столом, предложный падеж, столе. 2. Дом, house, именительный падеж, дом, родительный падеж, дома, дательный падеж, дому, винительный падеж, дом, творительный падеж, домом, предложный падеж, доме. 1. Книга, book, именительный падеж, книга, родительный падеж, книге, дательный падеж, книге, винительный падеж, книгу, творительный падеж, книгой, предложный падеж, книге. 2. Машина, car, именительный падеж, машина, родительный падеж, машины, дательный падеж, машине, винительный падеж, машину, творительный падеж, машиной. Предложный падеж маширод, окно, окно, window, именительный падеж окно, родительный падеж окна, дательный падеж окну, винительный падеж окном, предложный падеж окне. 2. Молоко, milk, именительный падеж молоко, родительный падеж молока, дательный падеж молоку, винительный падеж молоко, творительный падеж молоком, предложный падеж молоке. Of course, adjectives in Russian must agree with nouns in gender, number, and case. Here's how it works. Gender agreement. Согласование по роду. In Russian, adjectives change their endings to match the gender of the noun they describe. Masculine adjectives usually end in «ie» for singular and «ее» for plural. Хороший стол, good table. Хорошие столы, good tables. Feminine. Adjectives usually end in «ая», «я» for singular, and «ия» for plural. Хорошая книга, хорошая книга. Хороший книг, good book. Neuter, adjectives usually end in «ое» for singular and «ия» for plural. Хорошее окно, хороший window. Хорошие окна, good windows. Number agreement, согласование по числу. Adjectives must also agree with nouns in number. Plural adjectives usually end in «ия». Adjectives in Russian change their endings to match the case of the noun they modify. Here's an example with the adjective красивый, beautiful, and the noun домдеш. Красивый дом, beautiful house. Родительный падеж, красивого дома, of the beautiful house. Дательный падеж, красивому дому, to the beautiful house. Винительный падеж, красивый дом, beautiful house. Творительный падеж – красивым домом, with the beautiful house. Предложный падеж – о красивом доме, about the beautiful house. In Russian, verb forms change according to tense, mood, aspect, and person. Here, basic overview of the formation of verb forms by tenses. Present tense настоящее время. To form the present tense in Russian, you usually remove the infinitive ending itcha, sia, and add the corresponding present tense endings based on the person. Ya, you, if stem ends in a consonant, di, singular, yesh, on, ona, ano, yet, мы, ем, вы. Example with the verb говори, speak. Я говорю, I speak. Ты говоришь, ты говоришь. You speak. Он, она говорит. He, she speaks. Мы говорим, марим. We speak. Вы говорите. You speak. Они говорят. They speak. Past прошедшее время. The past tense in Russian can be formed using different conjugation patterns depending on the verb type, perfective or imperfective. Regular verbs usually form the past tense by adding specific endings to the stem. Irregular verbs may have different stem changes. Example with the verb читать, to read. Я читал, читала. I read. Ты читал, читала. You read. Он, она читал, читала. Он, она читала. He, she read. Мы читали, мы читали. We read. Вы читали, читали. You read. Они читали. They read. Future tense будущее время. The future tense in Russian is formed using the auxiliary verb быть, to be, in the present tense followed by the infinitive form of the main verb. The verb быть is conjugated based on the subject, and the main verb remains in its infinitive form. Example with the verb писать, to write.
Я буду писать.
I will write.
Ты будешь писать.
You will write.
Он, она будет писать.
He, she will write.
Мы будем писать.
We will write.
Вы будете писать.
You will write.
Они будут писать.
They will write.
Prepositions in Russian govern different cases, meaning that the case of the noun or pronoun following the preposition changes depending on its role in the sentence. Here are some common prepositions and their use with different cases. 1. In, into. Prepositional case, viv, plus, предложный падеж, в доме, in the house. Accusative case, v plus, я иду в магазин. I'm going to the store. На, on, onto, to. Prepositional case, нас, предложный падеж, на столе, on the table. Accusative case, на плюс, винительный падеж. Я поставил книгу на стол. I put the book on the table. О, about, concerning о, предложный падеж, разговор о книге. Conversation about the book. Accuse. Он думает о своем будущем. Он думает о будущем. He thinks about his future. По, along, by, according to. По, плюс, по улице. По улице. Along the street. Dative case. Pause. Мы послали письмо по почте. We sent the letter by mail. За, behind case. За домом. Behind the house. За, винительный падеж. Я заплатил за товар. Я заплатил за товар. I paid for the goods. Шесть. Sith, instrumental case. С, творительный падеж. Я иду с другом. I'm going with a friend. Ablative case. С, вернулся с работы. Я вернулся с работы. I returned from work. These are just a few examples of how prepositions are used with different cases in Russian. Understanding the correct case to use after each preposition is crucial for constructing grammatically accurate sentences. Practice and exposure to various contexts will help you become more proficient in using prepositions with different cases in Russian.
Constructing simple sentences with a subject and predicate.
Here are some examples of simple sentences in Russian consisting of a subject and a predicate. Abdin, я читаю. Subject, подлежащее, я, predicate, читаю, I am reading. Да, она пишет письмо. Subject, она, predicate, пишет письмо, is writing a letter. She is writing a letter. Мы готовим обед. Мы, predicate, готовим обед, are cooking lunch. Translation, we are cooking lunch. Sure, ты учишься. Predicate учишься, are studying, learning. Translation, you are studying. Pat, он играет футбол. Subject, играет футбол, is translation, he is playing football. Shix, они гуляют в парке. Advocate, гуляют в парке, are walking in the park. They are walking in the park. These sentences demonstrate how simple sentences are constructed in Russian, with a subject, who or what the sentence is about, and a predicate, what the subject is doing, or what is happening to it. As you become more familiar with Russian grammar and vocabulary, you'll be able to create more complex sentences and express a wider range of ideas.
Удачи и продолжайте тренироваться.